So it's day 8. A week ago today, I was putting on my gear, doing my first video on the day I was leaving. I know when I do these, I look really tired, and I am. But I want to do this before I get out the door because I'll forget. I'll forget to do it, and I'll forget what I want to talk about. So let's review what went on day 7. So this is day 8. Day 8, I am in Braidwood, Illinois. I'm about an hour out of Chicago, and the hotel I'm in right now, I have for 2 days. So I go into Chicago today, and I end my eastbound trip, and I start my westbound trip today, and I come right back to the same hotel. It's an hour out. I picked this hotel because it's a hotel motel. It's out of the city, totally out of the city, and I'm able to park the KLR right outside the door. And I like the idea. KLR is going to be naked today. I'm going to drop all my bags. All that stuff on it, it's not going. None of that's going. It's all staying here. Even the water bottles I carry. I generally carry 2 of these. Not generally, I carry 2 of these. There's no water in them anyway, so I'm just going to get another plastic water bottle. The only thing that's going to be on the bike is the gray trunk. It's always on the bike. It's bolted on the bike. It doesn't release like the side panniers do. So it's going to be an interesting day. I went through everything, and the only thing I'm really bringing of all that stuff, and people are probably going to say, why don't you just bring only that, is I've been using this a lot, this little puck thing. I think I did one time where I showed you, but you never know where you're going to get into soft dirt. And so what I do is that this goes underneath the kickstand, provides a broad base, and so the kickstand doesn't sink into either loose dirt or hot asphalt or blacktop, because your foot peg will actually dig in, your bike will fall over. This lanyard goes up to the rearview mirror, so when I mount the bike, I pull it up, I reel it up, and I put it in my pocket. So that's going with me. Oh, and then my tire pressure gauge is going with me. So today I expect to see just a few things in Chicago. For those that don't know, I did on this KLR in 2016. I'm not going to get through the whole story, but in 2016, I actually we took a trip out with our trailer and our RV pulling the trailer, and I did Route 66 from Chicago to Veneta. I kind of talk about it, or on one of my videos I say Veneta, oh the memories. So I'm familiar with everything. Everything I've done since Veneta, I recognize stuff. It's really kind of interesting to see it all again. What I do know of Chicago, I went on a weekday, so today's a weekend, and I did it on purpose. I wanted to get in there on a Sunday. I want to go to Lou Mitchell's. After I get to the end sign and take a picture, I'll get to the start sign and take a picture, because they're on 2 different streets actually now. Originally, Route 66 was on a street that had dual directional traffic, and because of the volume of the city now, those streets have all turned into one-way streets. So you enter in, I don't remember the name of the street exactly, but you enter in, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. You enter in on one street, you end the trip, and then you exit on another street. I'm just out of memory, and I might be wrong. I think it's Lincoln and Adams. I'm not sure. I'll remember later. So I want to eat at this place called Lou Mitchell's. I want to go check out, see if I can find the Walt Disney house. I did have to adjust. The Walt Disney house, his dad had a house where I didn't realize how many siblings Walt Disney had, but he was only there as a child. But Marceline, Missouri is where he grew up and started getting really creative, and the whole Mickey Mouse thing. Unfortunately, because of that severe thunderstorm, I got caught up west of Tulsa. I never did make it to Marceline. I had to adjust my itinerary. But I do want to see that house. I want to at least do that. There's really honestly not a lot in downtown. If I see anything in downtown, I'll probably do helmet cam. Other than dismounting the bike and going to Lou Mitchell's for breakfast, I'm probably not going to dismount the bike a whole lot in downtown Chicago. And everyone's probably thinking, well, because it's not a safe city, it's not. Well, I think I don't want to get into critiquing another city, and tourism, if it's safe, it's not safe. I'm making my decision. I'm making my decision to extract the best experience that I'm looking for, and it really doesn't include seeing a lot of sites within the city. Okay. So I'm leaving early in the morning, and I'm going to be barreling through and passing some sites that I really want to get back to today. One is definitely the launching pad and the Gemini Giant. I want to spend maybe an hour or two in the afternoon, and I'll do a standalone video on that, on the Gemini Giant. I really got to get moving along because there's a lot of stuff I want to discuss with you guys today. And matter of fact, let me get back to my notes. So day 8. So yesterday on day 7, I went from Lebanon, Missouri to Braidwood, Illinois. I think I covered. I apologize, I didn't write it down. I can't remember right now, but I think I covered like 400 and something miles. I started the day. I think I pulled out of the parking lot in Lebanon, Missouri about 6 a.m. and I ended up here at 8 p.m. Yeah. So it was a long day, and one thing about it is I took about 7 days to get out here. Took about 7 days to get out here. I'm taking 14 to get back. So I'll have shorter days as far as mileage goes, and I'll get to see more as far as sites go. So that's going to be good. A lot of people, I think, do these videos round trip. They get so excited and they stop a lot on the way out. Then they got to barrel on back, and I think that would have been harder for me if I knew I had to rush back, and I had less time. So I'm glad I did it the way I did. So I left Lebanon, Missouri. I just want to say another thank you to Ramona and Bob at the Munger Moss. Beautiful people, beautiful people. I tell you what, if you're not going to stay at the Munger Moss, at least go in there and say hi to Ramona. Just tell her how much you appreciate her, keeping the life breath of Route 66 alive, one of the many. Just go in and say hi to her, give her a hug, bring her a flower. She is just one awesome, awesome lady. You'll feel like you've known her for years, and Bob is just as wonderful. He's a great guy. Right after the Munger Moss, riding around, I went to a Denny's. And if this family, I gave you guys a card, and I apologize I forgot your names, but you guys were going to the zoo in St. Louis. So I hope you had a great time at the zoo in St. Louis. It was great talking to you. The KLR is doing great. I know there was another, I don't know if it was your brother or something, but he said, he goes, oh man, that engine's going to be done by the time you get done with this trip. Well, if you don't treat the KLR right, he's absolutely right. And I'm going to discuss that in this video on another KLR that I ran into. But, the KLRs are known, like Long Way Around with Ewan McGregor. He uses the BMW GS. I ran into people using KLRs in California. They were in California. They're heading down to Panama Canal. You can look up adventure bikes, KLRs. They're capable with the right maintenance, the right treatment while you're in motion, and the right rider. Which I was none of those when I started the trip. With that right relationship between the rider and the motorcycle, that KLR is capable. I can have that KLR for years as long as I, watch the tire pressure, watch the RPMs, watch the heat, watch the oil levels. It just takes, a KLR is for long rides like this, it does take rider responsibility to understand it and treat the machine the way it's intended to be used and treated, not as a crotch rocket or a cruiser bike. It is a dual sport. It's a single cylinder. It's a thumper. So you got to understand what kind of machine you're using for it to be successful. Family that was at Denny's, here's a shout out to you. Really great. Oh, thank you for finding my yoke to my neck brace. That really was imperative. So thanks for pointing that out. They found my. Hold on. I dropped this snap piece. I dropped it in the parking lot at Denny's, and they saw it and told me about it. Without that, I don't know if I'd be able to use the neck brace. So thanks. Right after I met them, I went to the Wagon Wheel in Cuba. Now, I'm going to be staying at the Wagon Wheel in a couple of nights. I stopped by to say hi, and while I was talking to them, this guy overhears me, and he says, hey, can I talk to you outside? Well, it ended up being an interview. This guy was driving Route 66 with all his camera equipment, and I forgot what company he works for, but they do documentaries, and he was tasked with going up and down routes. So he was interviewing people at these iconic hotels. He heard my story, so I got some pictures I got to put on, send Julie to put on Facebook of me being interviewed as a traveler of Route 66. He's going to keep in touch with me and let me know when the documentary comes out. But I got pictures of him filming my bike. He was really flipping out about how the bike looked, so that was really interesting. In Cuba, Missouri, at the Wagon Wheel motel, I got interviewed for a documentary. I thought it was really cool. Right after that, for some of you that don't know me, I am Seventh-day Adventist, and I was leaving Cuba, and I was entering the town of Bourbon, and it was right around 10:30, and I had just taken a nice break, and I come across a church that my wife remembered, in 2016 because I was driving the KLR, like I said earlier, but she was following me with some friends in the RV. Because the RV had a trailer in the back, for a motorcycle, and we were hauling another ATV. But she remembered it, and I pulled in my motorcycle gear. So I went in and I took an hour and a half break, and I attended church on Saturday, Seventh-day Adventist. We go to church on Saturday. It was a really nice congregation. Oh, they invited me to, of course, if you know Seventh-day Adventist, come to lunch. We're doing this activity. We can go visit these people. I really wish I would have, and I passed off my information to the pastor, and I will call you. We will keep in touch. Nice young man. Really, I'm glad I stopped. I really am. I really feel that I've been blessed and protected along the way, and I had no problem giving that hour back. So that was a cool experience on this trip. And I think I have one more Saturday on the road, and I'm going to do the same thing. It was cool. Okay, so St. Louis really quick. So St. Louis, I got in there. I wanted to get as much Route 66 pavement underneath those tires. St. Louis, like any other major metropolis, is a city. Now, I'm glad I did it because I want to claim the fact that I did all of Route 66. The thing of it is, when you get into St. Louis, the traffic, and there are many different alignments. And I'm not going to go to Ted Drew's frozen custard. I'm not doing that for a couple of reasons. And I'll probably talk to people that I've talked about Ted Drew's. I'll probably talk to them in person about why I'm not going to go to Ted Drew's, but I really don't want to put it on YouTube. Let me think about what I was saying. So the traffic, but when you get in there, it's just crazy thick traffic. Probably the worst environment I've been on this whole trip. No lie. When I was in Santa Monica going through Los Angeles, I'm familiar with those areas, and we can lane split, and in California it's legal. It's legal to lane split, so you can go between the cars. Over there, there's stoplights. The KLR was overheating. The KLR was not liking it. It's almost like riding with another human being when you get to know your bike. It tells you what it wants to do and what it doesn't want to do. And it did not want to sit in traffic going at those slow speeds. Every stoplight, that heat indicator was pegging towards the H. I couldn't, even if there wasn't any traffic, and I could observe to the left and right and enjoy it. It's a city. It's grown up. It's no longer. I didn't see anything in St. Louis that was iconic, that was notable. That I mean, it serves a purpose. Obviously, and there's a lot of traffic, but even if there wasn't, but there was traffic, and I had to pay attention to the cars in front of me. That I wasn't going to hit them. I had to pay attention to the people merging in and out, to crazy angled streets. And when I got done with it, you have to jump on the bridges to get over to get over there. But what I'll do today or tomorrow, actually tomorrow when I go through, I'll take a picture with the arch behind me. I'm not going to go in the arch now. I'm not going to stop. I'm not stopping in St. Louis. I'm stopping on the outskirts of St. Louis on the west side. I have a night at a hotel because I'm going to a museum out in that area, automobile museum. I think Museum of Transportation, but I'll be way out of the city on the west side. But as far as the city goes, I'm not dealing with that traffic. And when on my return trip, I'm not doing Route 66 through it's unsafe. For me, on a motorcycle, it's unsafe to ride a motorcycle in St. Louis and try to learn something or observe Route 66. I did it, done. I'm not doing it again. The funny thing is I did, at one point I got frustrated. I pulled over. I'm using my phone. I was going to show you something on the phone, but the phone's filming. So one thing is, on the cell phone, I use Life 360. Look it up. Great app. And you assign family and friends that they can actually track you as long as you're in triangulation of cell towers. So that's one way my wife tracks me. And then what you could do is when you stop, and I stop for a long time, I want to let them know that I'm stopped and I'm not underneath a semi-truck stopped. So I do a check-in, and it gives me a location. So I was getting frustrated in St. Louis. I pulled over. The only shaded tree I found was in this beautiful parking lot, this beautiful structure. It happened to be, let's say, Stafford's. I don't remember the name of it, but like Stafford's Funeral Home and Crematorium. So when you check in, it gives you the location you're at, saying, are you checking in at this point? And then, so if I'm in a Walmart parking lot, checking in at the Walmart Gallup, New Mexico, checking in at 76 Station, Albuquerque, New Mexico. So when I did the check-in, it says, Vince is checking in at the Stafford Funeral Home and Crematorium in St. Louis. My brother-in-law Jay picked up on that, and he sent me a text saying, "Wow, I was a little concerned at first to find out that you had just checked into a funeral home and crematorium." Yeah, dangerous It's a risky, not dangerous. It's a risky trip on a motorcycle, number one, but solo from Los Angeles to Chicago. So, thanks for picking up on that, Jay. I got a kick out of that too. The other thing I'm using, and I know I keep talking about it, is this GPS. Now, for you all that were following me on it, I know I dropped a day. What I didn't realize, I power this down at night and charge it. Every day I turn it back on. I actually not only turn it, I thought turning it on started the tracking thing. I got to turn it on, hit one of the button in front of the menu, scroll up, hit tracking, boom, and it starts. So that's what I did wrong. So I'll be wearing this today, and I'll make sure that people that have the website will be able to track me as I go through Chicago. I'm going to give a shout out to Jason at Frank's Old Garage, Frank's Old Sinclair Garage, Williamsville, I believe it was. Man, he's done an awesome job. Hey, Jason, by the way, this is what I was talking about. It's the Seba gas station in Warwick, Oklahoma. It's a gas station but motorcycle thing. If you yourself ever take that trip on 66 westbound, check it out. You'll dig it. You'll dig it. It's kind of like what you got going on. But think of your place filled with vintage motorcycles. That it's just an amazing place. When on my way back, on my return, I'm going to go back there. I'm going to do more. I have a video on my GoPro I haven't posted yet. Maybe I'll post that video today. But I'll do more. I'll do more when I go on my return trip. But thanks, Jason. I really enjoyed our visit yesterday. When I got to a rest stop, I wanted to call the hotel. I was about 40 minutes out of the hotel. I just wanted to make sure the room was secured. And I had a brief conversation with a coworker, John Karkin. And hey, I just want to say thanks for the words. Your words of encouragement, your words of support. It really did mean a lot. I enjoyed our conversation, our tongue-in-cheek comments to each other. Very cool to hear your voice. Very cool to know that you're looking at the Facebook and the YouTube videos. Even though that you guys aren't physically here with me, you guys are on the trip with me, and that means a lot. The last little note I wrote was today's thoughts. So a week ago today, I was gearing up, and I'll just be honest with you all. I was scared and I was nervous. I was hesitant. I was apprehensive. And like everyone, not everyone, there's a few people that have said, you're going to feel that way, even if you're going on just a regular trip. But once you're on the road and you're in your groove, you'll be okay. And that is true. But man, it is such a surreal feeling remembering going down that driveway and waving bye to Julie as she helped me get out of the road that day. And then my first stop was at the McDonald's Museum, where the Juan Pollo in San Bernardino. I think I did a quick video shoot there. But I'll be in Chicago in about 2 hours at Lou Mitchell's eating breakfast. And I can believe I'm here. But what I can't believe, I guess what I can encapsulate is how I got here. It's not emotional. It freezes me in time when I think about all the states and the people and the things I've seen and done and the miles that I've covered on this motorcycle. And I've only been riding motorcycles for 3 years. I never rode a motorcycle before. So I'm in a weird mood. It's like I woke up Christmas morning as a kid and I'm tired and I'm contemplating, but I saw that excitement. But part of that also is I don't want the trip to end. So a big point, one of the biggest icons for me was Midpoint Cafe in Adrian, Texas. That's midway between Los Angeles and Chicago. That was a big deal for me. I'm at the halfway point to Chicago. Well, now I'm at the halfway point of my trip, mile-wise, not time-wise, but I got to return yet. But I don't know how I'm going to feel when I'm eating breakfast. I don't know how I'm going to feel when I'm taking pictures in front of those signs at the beginning and the end. But right now, it's like I'm procrastinating because I want to stretch it out. But I really do have to get on the bike and go. So I guess what I'm feeling is kind of the same feeling I felt on day one of the beginning. And now this is day one of the turnaround. So I think once today's through and I'm heading back, it's going to be very interesting. I did come in last night, and they're so hospitable here on Route 60. Honestly, they are. There's a laundry mat that's in the same parking lot as the motel I'm in, and I had skipped laundry. I was trying to do it every 2 days, and this was the third day, and I was at rock bottom. I had nothing to wear today. I was like, oh man. So they were just closing. It was like 9:05 and they were closing. So the owner and her daughter had some laundry running. And I go, I just pulled in. I usually do laundry. I'm out closed, but I'll manage it. And they go, no. What do you? I go, I just got one load and I don't even use a dryer. I just wash all my stuff. So they accommodated me. We had a great conversation. We talked a little bit. And I had the most laundry I've done the whole trip was all gathered. So I was able to get, so all my laundry is fresh, it's hanging up, it's drying. This was one of the items and it's already dry. But one thing I wanted to tell you, so I took out my armor. This is the Clime Jacket I've been wearing, and I kind of made fun of it on a video about my weight loss thing. But this is an awesome jacket. I wouldn't ride with anything else. It provides maximum ventilation while we're in motion, and maximum protection. This thing, I love this jacket. I always recommend it. It comes with CE rated armor, so I got this orange thing on the back. It goes down to the spine. It's also the same type of materials in the shoulder and in the elbow pads, in the elbow area. So I took them all out when I washed it. But what I forgot to take out, and I'm glad I did, because I always wanted to talk to you guys about this. In this pocket here on the arm, there's a little medical symbol right there. And what's it designed for? In the event that I go down, you know, I guess medics are aware, and they'll unzip that. And what I have are some contact cards. Now, I forgot to take this stuff out of the jacket when I washed it. Thank goodness they're plastic. I also forgot to take out my bank card. I forgot to take out the bank card, and the bank card is in this silver thing. So now I guess I'm a money launderer. So my bank card, and then I made up a emergency data card. So whoa, see if I can get. There's the front, so that's an emergency card, and that's the back. Basically, what this is, one side are our contacts, such as my doctor, my wife, my brother Tony, my cousin Mike Antonucci, my Air Force Squadron, and American Red Cross Hero Care. Johnny Moe gave me that information. Thank you, Johnny Moe. Mayor Moval. So, and on the other side is my name, my date of birth, O positive blood, no allergies, the medications I'm currently on. I'm on Tricare Prime Remote, my insurance, active duty Air Force, the base I'm located at, and then my Air Med and my Fly You Home numbers. Now, this is really where I want to talk to you guys about. So I'm doing this on my own. I am in the military. I got great medical coverage through Tricare. But two more safety blankets I wanted me and Julia to have was I got two different memberships. This one here was, I think, 85, and this one was 134. What this is, it's a card. It's a card, and I can't get too close on that if you could see it, but all those red dots are where it covers. There is a little bit of an empty area in Arizona and New Mexico, but they're just packed all the way from Chicago, all the way through Oklahoma, Texas. Gets a little sparse in New Mexico, a little sparse in Arizona, and then it's really has a lot in California. What this is if I ever got in an injury on the road that required helicopter lift from site of the accident to a hospital, emergency care, I'm covered. I'm not sure what Tricare would do, but this alleviates any payments to helicopters. And there's like 6 or 7 different groups. And this mini card is on my keychain, and there's a sticker on my windshield that declares that, hey, if this guy gets in an accident, you know, if he needs a helicopter, it's called REACH. And so that's that helicopter. Now the next one is in the event that I'm 150 miles away from home, and I'm going to be in the hospital longer than a week, and 150 miles away from home, my wife can say, hey, I want him flown on fixed wing to a local hospital, say like Loma Linda. Once again, I'm not sure. I used to fly medevac for the military myself, and before I became a radar guy, and we moved a lot of civilian patients, a lot of emergency stuff on fixed wing. I wasn't sure how that got organized or who's paying for it, but I wanted to alleviate that logistic and financial concern from Julie, saying, hey, if something, and she has copies of all this stuff, and if something happens, I'm there for a week. You don't have to worry about flying out there and getting a hotel. You tell them to fly me home. So this goes in my pocket. I wanted just to mention that. This is one of the longer videos. I hope you guys are interested in it. I was going to do an overview of the map, but let's save that for tonight. It's already going on to like 23 minutes. I do need to get on the road, but when I get home, I'll do an overview on the map and kind of recap before I head out tomorrow out of here. Tonight I'll do a map thing where you guys can see what days 1 through 8 look like on a map. All right, hey you guys, thanks so much for following along on YouTube. I really appreciate. I know a lot of people are subscribing that I have met on the route. I hope this is entertaining. I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm done with the Route 66, but hopefully I'll throw a video out there every other day or something like that, talking about, you know, Route 66, trip, traveling, safety, and other things. So like, subscribe. Don't forget to get out there and ride. And definitely remember, go out there and live your dreams. Life is an adventure. And I want you and everybody else to make your journey a good one. Have a great day.